Alright, since I finished just doing a Bitcoin video, let's have a look at Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum is still in this downtrend. Until it breaks this, I'm not excited for ETH, unfortunately. I do have my plan for ETH to sell more Bitcoin for ETH and to purchase some more ETH using USDT. I still have got high hopes for ETH, but until it breaks this trend line, you know, it is what it is, you know. Unlike things like Bitcoin, it's brokenness, it's brokenness 50% and all that good stuff. But ETH is not showing strength. But a lot of people sleep on ETH. Let's first fling out my Levi trading strategy. Long time I ain't brought it out. So zigzags on the bar here. You know what we'll do? Let's fling it to a 5-day chart. Take it off automatic. And let's have a look at it here. Let's get a bit more of a broader perspective. So you can see my Gantt swings are in there, and so is my zigzag. Back out my fibs, because that's what I like to do. I back out my fib on man. And let's have a look. We are literally, we did tag the 50%. We did tag the 50% back here. We did tag the 50%. And the 50% comes in at 2,817. 2,817. Some people would have bought that. I'm sure I bought some ETH. I don't know if I bought ETH. I probably bought ETH around here. And why I say around, and I'm not too sure, is because I trade it based on Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin reached down here, I bought like ETH, Sol, and NEAR. Those are the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. So I probably bought ETH around there somewhere. Here's hoping. I didn't buy a large amount because I'm still somewhat holding out. That was my 50% that I had, that 56,000. I've got another alert coming here on Bitcoin at 52,000. So I'll be coming to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin comes down here, then I'll look at ETH, and wherever ETH is, I'll most likely buy. I'll back up my fibs, of course, but Bitcoin is leading the way on my decisions of investment. Cool. All right. The other fib I want to back it out on is October 2023. Okay. Last year, October. Cool. You can see we've got the 50% also there at 2,800. Okay, so it's partly the 618, partly this one here, the 2,800. A massive, I imagine, black swan event, or if ETH is losing some of its fundamentals and it starts to close below 2.5, I won't like the look of that. That won't look good, especially if things like Bitcoin pump. Then you can count me out of ETH. But those are the areas to watch, right? 2,800, 2,500. I better leave this on my screen. And I obviously did have this ascending triangle that we was tracking. Will ETH come back out and come back onto this? I imagine if there's a mad black swan event, that it will do something like that. Okay, that will do something like that. And this is why I think I take TA over the fundamentals, because then it doesn't surprise me if it does something like this. And then it doesn't really bother me when somebody says, oh my gosh, there was a black swan event, or this event happened, or da-da-da-da-da. From a TA perspective, it's like, well, it hit the ascending triangle. That's what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to come back and retest, because we didn't really get a clear retest on this, in my opinion. So if it was to do that, I wouldn't be totally surprised. But yeah, those are the areas you want to watch for ETH. Let's move on. So let's move on to Sol with Solana. Sol's here at $152, and these things are probably going to be doing the same thing as Bitcoin, but somewhat waiting to see what Bitcoin does, right? So its 50% is at $144, and it's above that at the moment on the 5 daily. Switch to the daily. Yeah, it's holding it. It's holding it. You know, it's been trying to get some closes beneath it, and it's pushing above. So we just need to kind of hold this. Yeah, we just kind of need to hold this and get above $169. And bears want it to come below $129 and even $115. Okay, I believe there's a 50% somewhere. I think the all-time high 50%, if I back up my fibs, is $90. So keep your eye on that, bar a black swan event. So keep some P's just in case. You never know. NEAR, we'll have a look at NEAR. One of my darlings here. NEAR, look at that. This thing's always been wanting to break out. I don't even want to look at this anymore. It just goes. This thing just goes when it's ready. It's been dying to pump out of this. Look at that. The first sign of bullishness, and this thing wants to get out of its monthly swing in white here. Like, this coin is dangerous. If this breaks out, yeah, if Bitcoin has a pump to its 50%, I can't remember where it was in the previous video, 66k or something like that. Okay, it's likely this pushes up to somewhere like $8, yeah. It's likely that it pushes up to $8 and it will hold this. I guarantee you it holds this. If Bitcoin goes sideways for a little while, it will hold this, maybe come back and retest the tops of this at $72. But you might have, as long as Bitcoin doesn't drop, you might have to kiss like $6 goodbye on there for the cycle. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So that's near. What else has been? Let's have a look at some of these other altcoins. Floki 17%, that's crazy. Axelar 14%, this one's been doing numbers. Arweave 11%, that's doing numbers as well. Look at that. Look at this thing is super strong. You know, like super strong, like Super Saiyan strong. Yeah, that kind of strong. Just rearing to get its head above this, but it was a bit of resistance. This was always a bit of resistance. I had this here for a while. I had this here way before this, and I don't know why. It's probably one of the monthly swings or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if it'll do the same thing as near, gets above it and it will hold it above $42, and you might not see $40 again. Do you know what I mean? I did put a marker here just in case it comes down, because that might be an area you buy, as well as its 50%, which is $25. Maybe a 618 if a black swan event comes in. Keep these on your targets, because it can happen. Sometimes it can just be a wick. You know what I mean? Sometimes these things can be a wick. Neutron not performing as great. 1%. Look at that. Not great. It's even dropping below my recent swing. Don't like that at all. Nosana 16%. Okay, it's been good for me to hold on to Nosana for a little while. Let's see how this does. As long as Solana pumps, this will pump. Hopefully we've got a double bottom here and it holds above $4.05. Let's see how that does. Osmosis. Let's have a look at Osmosis. Ooh, breakdown from its 618. Oh, I didn't even label this, so let's not even have a look at that. RNDR must be doing well as well. Not bad. It's coming up at 618 resistance. It is above its 50%. It is above this for 50%, so it's looking strong. If Bitcoin has a pullback, most likely got back down to its 50% at $10. So yeah, looking strong. Loads of altcoins looking strong at the moment. With this little pump. Cosmos, my old school baby right here. Look at that. Okay, was tracking this, pushed back down. It's back to the lower end of the trend line. I'd like to see it hold here and not drop below $7.34. You know, I was looking at Cosmos. You know, it's one of my loved projects. It's hard for me to let go of this because I get staking rewards on this, and this is potentially a long consolidation. That's one of my theses, is that this is a long consolidation since June. This was putting in higher lows before Bitcoin was. Let me tell you that. When in the bear market, this was putting in higher lows. So it's sad to see it somewhat come all the way back down when other alts have been pumping. So this is one of my less profitable coins. But let's see how it plays out, right? Usually in the bull, it does perform. Okay, so hopefully it's there. You know, I'm kind of going against my rules. It's not flagged, but I've just got it staked. There's no point me taking it out at this point. So yeah, hope your coins are doing well. Injective, I always come to Injective last, isn't it? I look at Injective last. Okay, cool. Injective needs to get back in here. Needs to get above his 618 and above this yellow line here. That's what I'd want to see. Back into $25 to $24.16 Injective. Let's see you do that. That would be great. That would be really fantastic. Volume dropping off. Let's zoom in a little bit. 6 hours. We did get a bit of volume there, some stopping power there. So this is going to be one of the key areas for Injective to beat. You want it to beat $27 and you want it to beat $30. Okay, you want it to beat these areas, but it takes its time. Hopefully it gets above here, holds at least a 0.65, 22, holds at least a 618, and gets back above this area here. And gets above that area there. This is going to be quite a bit of resistance, and yeah, you can already see it from here. These lines here, you got the 50% there. Injective got a bit to do, but if Bitcoin gives it the breathing room to do it, perhaps it can do it. Okay, hopefully your coins are doing well. Bit too much to look at, but hopefully they're doing well. But then again, what do I know? Have a good day and be safe on these crypto streets.